Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast that can guarantee you that we're not enhanced. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to our special WWE Battleground post-show. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. And as always, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Just type in Lost in the Midcard and hit subscribe. And that way you know every time our show comes at you. Most times every Thursday and a Monday morning after a WWE pay-per-view like this show right here. Episode number 85. We are also subscribable on YouTube, and the links to both of those are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/lostinthemidcard. Go to the notes section, and the links are right there for you. And also on our pinned tweet, we are also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. My co-host, as always, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
You know what? WWE almost made me regret not going to Washington tonight.
Yes.
The only reason I don't regret it, honestly, is because, you know, I'm sitting here talking about it with you, and I'm doing it for the Lost in the Midcard peeps.
There you go.
Because
wouldn't have a show otherwise.
I don't think
I'd be talking to myself or something.
Yeah, I think by the time I would have been able to get home off the Metro and whatnot, I don't think we would have been doing a show tonight. I don't think you would have been willing to wait for me in order for me to get home to do that.
I'd be producing and uploading until way in the hours there. So yeah, it probably would have been a little late.
But I didn't have a lot of expectations for the show, and I think anybody that listened to our show last week could tell. Mm-hmm. But I surely felt from top to bottom the show exceeded all expectations tonight.
It did. I don't think there was really a dud in the card. There was one match that I thought was a weird ending, a little awkward ending. We'll get to that in a little bit, but I think every match had great energy with it. The crowd was great as well. We had a killer main event. I don't want to put it in the elite category of matches, but maybe I just need to rewatch it. Maybe I was in a wrong mindset going into that match.
Well, the problem was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens stole the fucking show.
Yeah, they did.
So no other match for the rest of the night was going to compare, but I still thought the main event was pretty damn good.
It was. And I liked the result. So, I don't know. I think for a Shield triple threat, I was thinking monumental, you know, and I think I was trying to put it on a pedestal with Owens and Zayn, which was probably impossible.
That's unfair.
I don't know. I don't know why. I'm just trying to think of things. I just cannot pinpoint a reason why I don't give it the Dave Meltzer 5-star, you know. I just can't think of...
Because Dave Meltzer's an idiot?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't know. I didn't hate it, but I wanted more out of it. The finish was kind of quick to me for some reason, and I don't know. It was just weird. Maybe like I said, maybe I was just in the wrong mindset. Maybe it was, I've been watching the network for over 4 hours at that point. I don't know. You know, it's hard to explain. So I'm probably just gonna have to go back and rewatch the match because I'm not saying it sucked. It was an amazing match. Clearly the second best match of the night. Behind Zayn and Owens, which will definitely be a nominee for match of the year in the WWE side of things. I mean, hell, Matt, we may have Battleground as a nominee for pay-per-view of the year. I doubt it'll win.
It's hard to argue that at this point.
Yeah, it may be a nominee.
I'm hard-pressed to think of a WWE pay-per-view this year that delivered from top to bottom as well as Battleground did tonight.
And somehow our poll got retweeted or skyrocketed somehow because we just got like triple the number of votes from 5 minutes ago.
We have over 200 votes.
It was at 7.
The people are speaking right now, my friend. People.
Yeah, we'll get into that poll at the end of our show today, along with where do we go from here? Because there's a lot of roads that we're traveling on now because we got two separate brands that are going in two separate directions, and the debut shows of each is going to be this week. So I said it on Twitter at the beginning of the night. This could be a monumental 3 days of wrestling or a very lackluster 3 days of wrestling. It could easily go either way. So far, it is on the side of monumental, which is good, which is great because awkward timing, suspensions, lots of things, circling the WWE along with mild expectations going into the show. But Battleground came through gigantically tonight. We're going to get into that in just a minute. We got a couple of headlines coming your way, though, from over the weekend, though. First off, if you're not a subscriber to PW Insider and you like to be spoiled, best be sure that PW Insider is the best source of news out there, and we're not shilling them because they're paying us, because we're actually paying them. We're subscribing to their website. PW Insider said backstage at Battleground are Mojo Rawley and Bayley. And who's not there? Finn Balor. I think they were 3 for 3, Matt.
Yeah, they pretty much batting 1,000 right there.
Impact Wrestling went to Thursday for the first time in a while.
They scored a hell of a rating.
Yes, thanks to SmackDown going to Tuesday. And actually, Impact increased from their Destination X show. They went up $4,000 to 362,000, and now they have a replay once again, which garnered 48,000 viewers, so a total of 410,000 people tuned into Impact, which equals the amount that saw the final deletion. So I could fully assume they are doing a replay now Thursdays, or was that kind of a rarity, Matt? Do you have any idea?
I was surprised when the replay aired that night. So I don't really know if that is if that was a one-time thing or what. Because
what time did it air?
It aired at I think it was 1 o'clock. I think it aired from 1 to 3.
So after Big Brother After Dark.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a one-time deal or not. I was surprised because I thought they just got rid of the replay altogether. But if they're going to give them a replay on Thursday nights, cool. I don't have a problem with it.
Why not? While I fell asleep, so I didn't watch Impact, but Matt watched it. You said it was kind of meh.
I didn't think it was as good as the previous weeks.
Was Eddie Edwards and Lashley good at least?
Yeah, I thought they had a solid cage match. I'm really not a fan of the finish, but whatever.
Yeah, it's TNA, so. Raw and SmackDown have released new logos, and you probably fully assume they're going to have new theme music too, which we'll find out tomorrow and Tuesday.
So.
Yeah, you've been using that. Right? I don't like the Raw one. I like the SmackDown one, but obviously I think it's time for a change, as Owen Hart would say. The Raw logo looks too basic, and the SmackDown logo looks too much, in my opinion. Like too fancy in the logos. I don't know. But, hey, they're just logos, so what do you say? Are your expectations higher for these two shows now? What we're going to see tomorrow and Tuesday night, now the Battleground was so good?
I won't say that my anticipation's higher, because I've been super curious to see how the first night of both individual shows were going to carry themselves once the draft started. So I don't think Battleground increased it, but I'm still looking forward to Monday and Tuesday all the same, because I really want to see where it goes.
Let's see if we can be PW Insider and be right on our spoiler alert. Matt mentioned on the show last week, probably I think 2 weeks ago too. We've been mentioning it here the last couple of weeks. But Matt, where is Raw tomorrow?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Who is the United States champion?
Rusev.
And who is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania?
Kurt fucking Angle.
Let's hope that happens tomorrow. That would be epic. Epic. No word on what still caused the fight between Simon Gotch and Sin Cara, but Simon was pulled from TV tapings. He was on at Battleground as they showed the brands backstage attentively watching the championship match, but still no word on what caused the fight. But some say that there has been a rift between these two going back to developmental. So,
well, on the bright side, they're in separate brands now, so it's not something they're going to have to worry about going forward.
Yeah, that'll have the kibosh on that. So, several days ago, we had mentioned that Lita, Amy Dumas, is going from a producer to being on more of an on-air role. She will be a panelist for Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-view pregame shows going forward. She was not on the panel tonight, but very interestingly, Booker predicted that she was Sasha Banks' tag team partner. That would have been fun.
The rule of thumb was anybody who that the talking heads suggested was going to be the partner, you knew they were not going to be the partner.
Oh, yeah. Easy. Yeah. Duh. So is going forward, I would assume Graves is probably not going to be on the show. So it's going to be King, Booker, and Lita? Is that what it kind of sounds like?
I believe that's the plan.
Yeah, I mean, well, we haven't officially kicked into the brand split yet. So we'll get to see Corey Graves' much-deserved debut on Monday Night Raw coming up tomorrow here. But yeah, she will join Booker T and Jerry Lawler on pre-shows, and she's great on those pre-shows. So is King and Book. The pre-shows are very enjoyable, especially with the lovely Renee Young running the ship. So that's a good foursome there to kick off the shows. I probably won't watch, or actually I guarantee you I won't watch many pre-shows, but it's good that something's there for those that do want to see it. So
yeah, the only pre-shows I watch are for the pay-per-views. I don't watch the Raw pre-show. I don't watch the SmackDown pre-show. It's just nah.
If something interesting happens, they're going to air it on Raw anyway. So
truth.
Dave Scherer from PW Insider gives a very interesting theory as to why Brock Lesnar was not suspended for 30 days, which if they would have done it timing enough, it would have been just like a Roman Reigns situation. He'd be able to appear right at SummerSlam after the 30 days is up, but they did not suspend him. And he says, well, maybe they're waiting for Lesnar's appeals for those failed tests. And if the appeal fails, then they could take action and basically suspend him for 30 days that they don't really need them. Right, Matt?
Yeah, I still think there's something more to this whole Brock Lesnar situation than we know right now. I think UFC and WWE both know something that we do not. Mm-hmm. The fact that WWE has not taken action on any type of suspension, and the UFC has pretty much gone on record as saying they're not taking away any of Brock's pay-per-view purse. Says to me that there's something going on that we don't know, that we are not privy to the information yet. And I really think everybody needs to step back and let this situation play off until we're done.
Maybe some tomfoolery on the tests.
I don't know. Like I feel WWE and UFC at this point know something we don't.
And to give credit where credit is due, actually, Dave Scherer posted the article, but the idea did come from Mike Epsenhart, also from PW Insider, on the theory of why Lesnar has not yet been suspended. And if you are a downloader of the WWE app, there's some new stuff here for you. They're going to now offer live results for pay-per-views and Raw and SmackDown Live. So if you are not able to watch the shows and are not able to DVR them, or just want to know in real time if you're away, want to know in real time, just like a regular sports game, what happens, the app now has an option to, if you go into My Notifications, and show results. And so you'll be able to control the results as they occur from the WWE app. Matt, I think that's a pretty cool addition for those that want to know that right then and there and can't watch.
I mean, they pretty much already do that anyway. When I heard that, I'm like, well, this isn't news. This isn't news to me. I mean, the WWE app spoils stuff for everybody all the time. I mean, I turned my notifications off in the WWE app like years ago because I see it on Twitter all the time. People are like, "And I didn't want spoilers," but the WWE app just sent me a notification spoiling a match. So, yeah, I don't.
I think they used to.
To me, it doesn't sound like it's anything new that they haven't already been doing.
I don't know if they've been. I don't know if they do the match results though as they happen. I know Bleacher Report does, but on pay-per-views, but not Raw and SmackDown. Maybe the WWE used to on pay-per-views, and then recently they pulled back because I didn't get any notifications on each match today. So
I don't know. Like I said, I turned the notifications off on that thing a long time ago. So I don't know.
Battleground is live from Washington D.C. tonight, and the kickoff show did occur. One interesting thing, a couple of interesting things on the kickoff show. Andrea DeMarco from NXT, she got called up to the main roster and did some interviewing on the pre-show, so that's pretty cool for her. She interviewed Zack Ryder. And also, probably the most interesting thing on the pre-show today was the appearance of Cesaro on the panel, right, Matt?
I thought the most interesting thing on the pre-show was the Usos losing to Breezango.
That was good too, but obviously, what Matt had said, this is a what was a work turned into, or a shoot turned into a work, right?
I think that's where it's going. Honest to God, I thought the whole back and forth on the panel with Cesaro felt very awkward. I did not think it came across well at all.
It seemed like Cesaro wanted to say something, but kind of stopped himself from going too far.
Yeah, I felt like the whole thing just didn't it didn't come across very good. And I'm a big supporter of Cesaro. I want all his stuff to be great, but I don't know. I was not a fan of that segment.
Yeah, it just felt like he was holding his tongue on a couple of those times that he was talking there. But yeah, it was definitely awkward. That was for damn sure. They did a Q&A with Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan. So some pretty cool answers there. Bryan promising some risky ideas, but he will not share those right now because, well, why would he? Any kind of wild ideas that come to mind, Matt, that Daniel Bryan may implement?
Well, to me, the first two things you do is you implement a women's title and a tag team title. I'm done.
Those aren't really risky.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not certainly I'm not calling them risky, think outside the box actions, but to me those are two things that should be done immediately. Because you don't want these brands in the divisions in the brands to have matches when they're not competing for anything. In tag teams, and the women on SmackDown right now aren't competing for anything. And that sucks. If I'm a tag team wrestler and I'm a women's wrestler and I'm on SmackDown right now, I'm pissed off. Because it's like, what the hell am I here for? So I'm making a women's championship and I'm making tag team titles for SmackDown as early as Tuesday. And I'm doing tournaments. I'm doing tournaments for both titles, and I'm having the finals at SummerSlam.
Hopefully,
that's what I would be doing.
Yeah, hopefully we get some clarification on the title situations because they still haven't committed one way or the other if they're going to have one world title, one tag title, one women's title.
Truthfully, at this rate, the only thing Raw needs to do is introduce a new world championship. They already have the U.S., they already have the tag, they already have the women. So they only need to introduce one title. Where SmackDown needs to introduce two titles. Mm-hmm. So, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but I mean, when you decided to make the women's division across two shows, you kind of put yourself in that situation.
And something was real interesting, like I thought that crossed my mind today was, what if SmackDown, part of me almost thought that SmackDown might get both mid-card titles and really stick it to Raw just to have that kind of storyline out there for at least a month until they probably would do a rematch at SummerSlam. That thought crossed my mind that maybe both mid-card titles would be on Raw where the women and tag teams are on SmackDown the other way around. The mid-card titles are on SmackDown while the women and tag team titles are on Raw. I thought that did cross my mind briefly that could happen. On the pre-show, it was the Usos against Tyler Breeze and Fandango.
Who's Jaw?
I almost said that stupid name.
Breezango.
That stupid lazy name.
It should be Febreze.
Come on.
I stand by that.
That's still lazy, too. Come up with an interesting name. Don't just combine two things. That's lazy. A pretty decent match. The Usos going for the splash, and Tyler Breeze blocks it with his knees into a cradle for the 1-2-3. How about that? Breeze and Fandango with a mild upset of the two-time World Tag Team Champions, the Usos. So I've said it. I've said I've liked this team since day one, and hopefully they get some a little bit of a push behind them. So this is definitely a step in the right direction. And if you thought drafting the Usos to a different brand than Roman Reigns was going to keep you from booing the Usos, yeah, wrong. Battleground kicks off with Charlotte and Dana Brooke making their entrance, and the announced team, Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and JBL. Since their last show together, well, I don't know. Are they gonna? I'm wondering, are they gonna do like the old way? Remember the old way they had two tables and they just kept bouncing back and forth?
I think they'll do. I think they'll do that at the Big Four.
Because they said it was the last show together.
Yeah, because SmackDown's gonna commentate the SmackDown matches, and Raw's gonna commentate the Raw matches.
Yeah, I remember they used to do that when I think it was JR and King and Michael Cole and Taz.
Yep.
I think back in the day.
No, you're absolutely right.
Sasha comes out to gigantic ovation from the DC crowd, and I think the crowd knew who the mystery partner was going to be. Maybe they saw the inflatables get pulled out there. I don't know. But they wanted some Bayley. They got some Bayley. A gigantic reaction for Bayley. So if you wonder if these stars of NXT have kind of crossed over to the mainstream, there's your answer right there for Bayley. She had gotten a massive pop, and I loved it, Matt.
No, yeah, it was a great way to kick off the show. I mean, that was the smartest thing you could do.
Yeah, I think it made sense to not draft her, to keep that as a surprise. I think for Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of JBL kept insisting it was a one-off. But in my opinion, she's up now. She might.
It's like a Kevin Owens. It's like a Kevin Owens one-off. He's there, and then he'll come back once he loses the title or loses the title.
I think Bayley's going to lose to Asuka in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And she'll be full-time on the main roster after that. The reaction was too... Even if the plan was to keep her in NXT for longer, I think the reaction that she received tonight ended that. It's done now. She's coming up.
Vince saw dollar signs. So speaking of which, who? I mean, the women's division of NXT got gutted. Who's like the next serious challenger to Asuka?
Billie Kay.
It's weird. There's nobody. I mean, is Mandy Rose ready to step
I hear she's been doing very well.
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan's there. I don't know if she's title contender worthy at the moment, but I've heard Mandy Rose is doing extremely well on the NXT Florida House Show loop. So
it might be a matter of time before we see her on Wednesdays.
She goes.
We might be seeing her on Wednesdays very soon. Then
I'd bring her. I would have her show up on NXT right after Brooklyn. They actually, what's odd is they taped her NXT debut at WrestleMania in Dallas. They taped segments for her on NXT television, and they never aired them.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they decided they were just putting her in the situation too soon. But she's totally coming up now. I think the women's division will survive. Triple H isn't stupid.
No,
he knows what he's doing.
I'm sure he's got a few women in mind to say, hey.
Honest to God, all they got to do is go out and sign a few.
Yep.
You go out and sign Deonna Purrazzo. You sign Santana Garrett. You sign
Amber Gallows.
You sign who's Tully's?
Oh, Tessa.
Yeah, it's Tessa Blanchard. You sign. There's another one too that I'm blanking on. But there's a lot of talent out there that they've used on NXT television over the past 6 months that they could bring in full time now. Mm-hmm. And it's not a problem at all. You immediately beef up your women's division down there. I still think they need to bring Mandy Leone down there too. I just think it's such a no-brainer. There's a lot of good women in ROH right now that if they're not locked under deals, WWE needs to raid their women's roster.
I think
get Hania, get Taylor Hendricks,
Mary Dobson.
Yeah, there's a lot of good talent that they could bring over without even a question. If they're not locked into deals, raid their talent pool. It's just that simple.
Banks put on the bank statement on Charlotte. Brooke was able to grab pull Charlotte out of the ring, which looked uncomfortable as hell as Charlotte was still locked in, and Brooke's pulling on her. that looked uncomfortable. Bayley hits a drop kick on Brooke, and Charlotte hits a forearm to knock Brooke down. Then Banks does her bank stabber into the bank statement to make Charlotte tap out, which was almost everybody probably saw that coming, that Charlotte was going to get a pin or a submission on Charlotte to set up the SummerSlam match. 10-minute match, nice little tag match. Again, great energy thanks to the debut of Bayley. So a good job for the ladies and a good start to the pay-per-view, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely.
They show a video package of the Wyatt family and the New Day, and the New Day did a very quick promo, nothing much to it there. This is the last time that Bray and Rowan will be with Braun Strowman as Vince straps a rocket up to his ass, probably. Hopefully Luke Harper's back soon, though, because that'll make SmackDown even more better. I would assume that's where he's going. Unless they put him on Raw, and maybe Luke's kind of a leader type of guy, and Braun is with him, But Matt, we both know better that Vince is probably strapping that rocket.
Yeah, I think whenever Luke's injury is done, I think he's going to. I definitely think he's going to SmackDown.
I hypothesize that just like the club could exist on two brands, that maybe the Wyatt family could exist in two brands. It's possible, but it's probably not as likely as what we hope. I hope to God the club exists on both brands and takes over the company, don't you?
Well, yeah, they have to. Mm-hmm. Or if they're not going to branch them off between both shows, they need to trade Anderson and Gallows to SmackDown.
I think that's the only reason why they split those three up, was to make the club more widespread. But unlike the NWO, it isn't going to get oversaturated because you got just one set on one show and one set on another show. So this could work.
Yeah, we'll see what they
New Day
doing with it.
New Day and a Wyatt family. We didn't have high expectations going into this match because the build-up's been lackluster. Though I liked the final deletion ripoff. I liked it for what it was by itself, but the feud itself has been kind of awkward, and now they get drafted to separate brands. So there's not really much to fight for here, except for a little bit of a grudge match. But I thought they told a really good story with Xavier Woods overcoming the fear of Bray. I just wish they would have completely went through with it and had him get the win, Matt.
If you were going to pin the New Day, the right person got pinned. Mm-hmm. Because he rarely actually defends the tag titles. So I think it would hurt Kofi or Big E more to take the pinfall. I think Woods, if you had to have the New Day lose, that was he was the guy to take the pin. Mm-hmm. But at the same token, they kind of, I feel they really wanted Bray to be strong.
Yeah.
Going into the SmackDown brand, and I think that's why they did it.
And thank God they finally went through with that.
If the Wyatt family were to lose, Rowan should have been taking the pinfall. There's no way Bray should have been taking the loss.
No, I just thought it would have been a cool story because the crowd definitely got into the Xavier and Bray thing. they got into that a lot. I thought it felt like the energy ramped up when those two went head to head, and they were just waiting for that moment for Xavier to finally snap out of it. But he never really did. But then he finally did, and kind of went off on the whole Wyatt family. And that moment was awesome. I loved it. I kind of, part of me wishes if the New Day would have won, they would have went through with that. But the Wyatt family needed to win here, because I think Bray. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. He's almost a number 2 heel on that brand, right?
I'd say behind AJ Styles, he's probably he's got to be the number 1 heel on SmackDown at the moment.
Yeah, I fully assume Orton will turn heel eventually. He's so much better in that role. But
I hear they have plans for Orton versus AJ later on this year. I don't foresee him turning heel anytime soon.
Orton was a lot of fun tonight, though. We'll get into that once we get to that part of the program. But
Orton was great. Fuck the haters.
Yeah. There were haters?
Oh yeah, I had some people bitching about.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get into that in a minute and make fun of them. New Day and Wyatt's though. Poor Big E. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, no shit.
That dive to the outside landed on his neck. I don't think he landed straight on his head. I think he landed turned enough to land on his shoulder, neck. It could have been worse, but it was definitely not pretty. I don't know. Some people are like, Big E should quit doing that. What do you think, Matt?
I was kind of 50-50 on it until tonight.
And now you're saying,
I think he's worn out his welcome with that move. I just think it's too dangerous for his health, and he's got such a bright career ahead of him that he should not be risking it doing that move night in and night out. Because it seems like he does it every match. Like, it's not just something he breaks out on a special occasion. Yeah. It's just like he uses it constantly.
Would you be better with it if he breaks it out on a huge pay-per-view match and not necessarily every week, not even necessarily every month, but you would be okay with it if he did it?
If he did it like 2 or 3 times a year, yeah. I wouldn't have a problem with it. And I think it would mean more. Like when Taker did the dive to the outside, Taker didn't do that all the time, but when he did it, it was special. I think Big E could do something very similar to that with this move. You don't have to do it every time.
That's everything in the WWE almost. Like the Superman punch. That thing was so cool at first, and then, there's like 8 of them in a night. It's like, God, if you kept that in the pocket for just once a month or once every other month or something, it would mean more. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that they could put in the pocket and not use every week. I don't know why they the agents or whoever does those matches. I don't know why some of those cool moves they just oversaturate them, and make them less special. Because the Superman punch could be something really badass if it wasn't done every 10 times on a Monday night,
WWE just officially put the Hype Brothers back together.
I told you.
They just tweeted out exclusive: when one door closes, another one opens. Hashtag WWE Battleground. Hashtag Hype Bros. At Zack Ryder at Mojo Rawley, and there's a link. I won't watch it right now, but fuck. All the more reason we need some damn tag titles on SmackDown.
I told you when they drafted them two together, that was the writing was on the wall that Ryder was going to lose. But hey, we get 20,000 extra coins in our WWE Slam account tomorrow.
Yep.
The beautiful Lana introduces Rusev. Lana looking very princess-like tonight with a tiara and all that get-up. And Zack Ryder. This will probably be the only time I ever give Virgil credit on the podcast, ever, probably, but Virgil did make me laugh today, Matt, when he said that Zack Ryder bought his get-up from Sting's garage sale. I gave it I saw it on my timeline and I laughed and I'm like, but then it refreshed, so I didn't know who said it at first, and so then I'm laughing. I'm like, this is funny. I want to go retweet it. I'm scrolling back and Virgil said that.
Fuck Virgil, dude.
I'm like, wow, okay. Well, I'm not going to retweet that then, but it was funny. Rusev Ryder got 8 minutes. It wasn't a quick squash, but what'd you think about Ryder's performance here?
I thought the match was really good. The finish was, honest to God, what I expected.
So
I really wasn't disappointed because as much as I wanted to see Zack Ryder win, I just knew that he wasn't going to. I guess that kind of cushions the blow.
I at least like that he made it look like he was going to fight out of the accolade. He didn't job out to it right away. I really loved that part of the ending. And then, of course, Rusev does the one where he bends them all the way back, and basically, you can't get out of that one. That's going to be a tough one to get out of. Rusev is still United States champion, so the United States title is on Monday Night Raw. Zack Ryder was getting worked over after the match when the Hype Bros music kicks in and Mojo Rawley comes in and gets in the face of gets in the face of Rusev. Rusev backs down and walks away. And Mojo comes to the aid of Zack Ryder. So there you go. As Matt just said, it's pretty much official now. The Hype Bros are a team on the main roster. They never really got much traction in NXT, so hopefully they do get some traction here, because I don't mind them as a tag team, and especially if it gets Ryder some gold, right, Matt?
Yeah.
They show Stephanie and Mick in the office, and Rollins shows up to talk to them, and Rollins says he can prove he's the best. He's the best of this generation, like LeBron James, like Tom Brady, like Channing Tatum. I didn't know Channing Tatum was an athlete. I guess if you call male stripping a sport, maybe Channing Tatum is the LeBron James of that. I don't know. But it was kind of funny how he slid that in there. But basically, Rollins just talking about how he's going to be the champion. People are going to worship him. And said that 9 months from now, there are going to be a boom of babies named Rollins. I don't know. What do you think, Matt?
Meh.
We going to see a lot of Rollins babies?
Pretty sure not.
Oh, wait. The Rock said that one time, didn't he? He's going to make a lot of Rock babies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're correct on that.
Let's take a break from Battleground, because the next match is we got to talk about the next match. That's going to be a good one. We'll save that one. Let's go to our 5 count for the week, for the month. This week we are for the Battleground pay-per-view, our 5 count with the brand split. There's obvious need for more depth to add to the rosters even after the draft, because obviously the draft is just a base, because we're going to be building on that base for a while to come now. And there are a lot of people, free agents, and some that aren't free agents, but could very well be in the near future, that are top targets for Vince and Triple H to sign in 2016. This doesn't necessarily have to be for NXT or WWE, just both. You can combine the two. Matt, kick us off. Who's your number 5 top target for Vince and Triple H to sign this year?
Triple H. I knew you'd come.
Oh.
I would love to see Matt Hardy return to WWE as the broken Matt Hardy character. I think it would be absolutely hilarious. I would love to see a feud between him and Bray Wyatt. I think there is a lot of things that they could do with the broken Matt Hardy character. And I think it would be absolutely fantastic. I don't know when his deal's up, but I do hope when it's up, I hope Triple H calls him and says, hey Matt, let's take this broken character to another level. I think that would just be fantastic.
I didn't put Matt I put him in my honorable mentions. The reason why is that was an angle in TNA. Do you really think they're going to carry that? Vince is going to carry that character over in the WWE? I would love it. Yes.
There's a whole lot of characters from TNA right now on their main roster in NXT that haven't been changed.
Yeah, but this is like an over the top character with Matt Hardy. I don't know. I would love it. Trust me.
I think it would be fucking great.
I'm just so skeptical that Vince would not have him be.
Dude, broken. Vince doesn't even know broken Matt Hardy exists.
Well, then maybe. Hey, then if he doesn't know he exists, then good.
Exactly.
My number 5 is John Morrison. This guy has grown as a heel with his time in Lucha Underground. He is still the phenomenal athlete that you last saw him when he took on The Miz at the beginning of the new year a few years back in one of the good matches of the year. Actually, it was on a Monday Night Raw. Those two had a hell of a match. John Morrison is continuing to perform at that level in Lucha Underground and is even better as a heel than he was before. He can still be a babyface too. Don't get me wrong, but he has been a great heel in Lucha Underground. Finally holding Lucha Underground gold for the first time as a part of the Trios Championship. So it's kind of amazing that he's not yet ever been a Lucha Underground champion yet, but he's still finally got his first taste of gold there. I think John Morrison would be a great return to the WWE for sure. I think the brand split, much like a Dolph Ziggler, a Zack Ryder, some of those other guys, I think a brand split would be a perfect fit for John Morrison to come back in and be on top somewhere. Matt, who do you have at number 4?
This one I went back and forth on a lot. I kept going back and forth between two people. And it's weird that they flip-flop out of... Instead of being 5 in my honorable mention, they were 4 in my honorable mention. And it's really difficult, and I've been flip-flopping on this all night. And you know what? I'm gonna stick with what I've got currently. Number 4, I have Roderick Strong.
Mm-hmm.
I think the man's resume speaks for itself. I think he would be an asset to Ring of Honor. He's been an asset to Ring of Honor, but I believe he would be an asset to either NXT or the main roster if they wanted to sign him on. I think he would be fantastic in the Cruiserweight division on Raw, and I think he would really shine in whatever opportunity they provided him with. My honorable mention, since you basically gave one with Matt Hardy, I would say Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what his contract situation is, and it seems extremely confusing. But I think he'd be another one, great for the Cruiserweight division on Raw, great for NXT. He can do things that a lot of WWE mainstream audience have never seen before. And I think he would be a great pickup, at number 4 or an honorable mention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically we just did not think of contracts at all outside of Moose, because that's obviously not going to happen this year. So we knew that one was pretty.
Moose is locked into a 2-year deal. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, so we went from we took him off, but we kind of maybe add some others that may not be possible, but you never know. You never know. My number 4 is the Young Bucks. Basically, if you're going to have the club rule everywhere. The Young Bucks are a must-have either on SmackDown, or you could even have them on NXT, and maybe
I think if the Young Bucks are coming in, they're bypassing NXT.
I think so too, but if you do have them, if you have a club faction on NXT as well, you could have the Bucks there with a Kenny Omega, have the Elite in NXT for a little while before you move them up, or you could have them on the main roster and put them with AJ Styles. Either way, the Young Bucks are definitely a commodity that is going to be needed, because it seems like the club is going to spread like an infection over the brands. Matt, who do you have at number 3?
My number 3, somebody actually just mentioned, Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
The cleaner. Come in, he could do some great things, either, being on the club on SmackDown, the club on Raw, doing stuff in NXT for a little bit. I think he's a no-brainer. I don't know what his New Japan deal looks like right now, but if he's free and available, there's no reason why they shouldn't be bringing the cleaner into WWE.
The greedy side of me would want Omega on Raw, so then he can be on Up, Up, Down, Down a lot more. End of story. My number 3 is Ricochet, Prince Puma, also known as. And Ricochet is one of those talents that you've got to have in a cruiserweight division, but at the same time, this guy could lead the company. This guy is amazing. Not only does he do a 450, he does a goddamn 600 splash. 630, I think it is. I don't have my calculator out right now,
it's
but he
ridiculous.
does like a 6.
How about that?
It's a 630. It's a 630. It's not even a 450. Yeah, it is 630 now that I think about it. It's a 180 from the 450. How you doing? There we go. I got my calculator out in my head. Ricochet is a he's basically I would say the hottest. If he was a free agent, he'd be the hottest free agent out there right now. So that's why I got Ricochet in at number 3. And Matt, who do you got at number 2?
I have, in my opinion, who should be one of the hottest free agents, depending on his contract status and where it's going and where he's going to end up in the near future, and that would be Jay Lethal, Ring of Honor World Champion. I have no clue what his ROH contract status looks like right now, but you can't tell me that man isn't plug and play to anywhere WWE would want to put him. NXT, Raw, SmackDown, it doesn't matter. Jay Lethal would go there and tear it up. And I think he's more than deserving of being on the main stage of WWE. I think he's proven track record in TNA, Ring of Honor. He's done stuff in New Japan. I think it's time for Jay to get to the only stage he hasn't been on yet, and that's WWE.
My number 2 is a guy that didn't have his head on straight when he was at the top the first time he was there, but now his life is together. He's got a good family. He's probably even a little smarter now after breaking his leg. Number 2, I've got Jeff Hardy. This guy
Brother Nero.
This guy was a superstar in the making. He was my number 1 guy back in the day. He was my number 1 guy. And when he left, that went to Jericho. Hardy is electrifying. The crowd absolutely loves him. Little do people know he's had 3 world titles in the WWE. He had an amazing feud with CM Punk back in the day, I believe 2009. His head is on straight. He's probably got a good 4 or 5 years left in him. If you could bring that deletion over to the WWE, because obviously the WWE liked it because they kind of copied it, but Jeff Hardy is a must-have because he even said it with me in attendance at the House of Blues for Jim Ross's show that the return is inevitable. So number 2 is Jeff Hardy. Number 1, Matt, what do you got at number 1?
Young Bucks, baby.
Young Bucks, too sweet.
I don't think anything more needs to be said. You already talked about him earlier. Damn. They would fit perfectly with AJ Styles on SmackDown right now. Just absolutely perfect. You got the Bucks and Styles on SmackDown. You have Gallows and Anderson and Finn on Raw. Club be running shit, yo. And I would love every damn second of it. And I would love to see the Young Bucks hit fucking the Usos with a damn Melcher driver, and it would be
how about some super kicks too?
Yeah, it would be fantastic.
Show them how to do the super kick correctly. Yeah, and just imagine if this happens, the club is 6 strong, if not 7, if you get Kenny Omega or something. Wouldn't it, I mean, hell, even have Omega in NXT and have a couple other guys in the club in NXT. Fuck, man. And then imagine those 6 times a year that both brands get together, man. How fun that will be when the club is all in one house. It'll be too sweet. Matt, I'm going to give you let's see if you can guess my number 1. I think it's probably easy, but let me see if you can guess it.
I honestly don't know, dude.
Jay Lethal is my number 1.
There you go.
Jay Lethal has done everything in Ring of Honor. There's nothing much left for him to do except for drop the title, which he fought Kyle O'Reilly on this past edition of Ring of Honor TV. We will cover that on this week's Thursday episode of Lost in the Midcard. Jay Lethal is and has been the guy with the pedigree ever since ever since his rise in TNA from just basically a young kid in the X division all the way to a world champion. Cutting promos with Ric Flair, the epic Ric Flair imitation, of course. Then you go to Ring of Honor, the House of Truth. It basically, I think the writing is on the wall that Jay Lethal will be in the WWE very soon. Matt, who were some of your honorable mentions?
Oh, it was Ricochet. He was the only one I had as an honorable mention.
I had a ton of them because
okay.
I could not just stop with 5 for some reason. Obviously, we mentioned Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega is on my honorable mentions list. Matt Hardy is on my honorable mentions list, along with Roddy Strong. 4 guys that we did not cover at all on here. Kurt Angle, obviously. I did not put him in the top 5, obviously, because he's only got about 1 year left in him. So
I think if he's coming in, and I swear I will not be surprised to see him and Raw tonight. If he's coming in, he's going to be a part-timer. He's not going to be there, every single week, going nuts like old Kurt Angle. If he comes in, it's going to be a part-time thing. He'll be there a lot more than Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. But it's going to be more of a farewell tour.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in the company for 5 years.
Exactly.
So that's why I didn't put him in my top 5. Rey Mysterio is another one I have on there. He is still looking good. He's doing a great job in Lucha Underground. They were recently just lost the Trios Championships. He was a Trios champion with Prince Puma and Dragon Azteca Jr. And Rey Mysterio has still got it. I think there's another final WWE run with him. Since we drafted Kalisto in SmackDown, where there's no cruiserweight division, put him on SmackDown, have him feud with Kalisto, have it a passing of the torch type of a feud, kind of like what Rey Mysterio and Prince Puma did at Ultima Lucha. That just occurred on the season finale of Lucha Underground here on year 2. Do the similar type of thing, a passing of the torch type of thing between Mysterio and Kalisto. I think that would be great. I got Will Ospreay in there. I mean, hell, if he's getting offered a deal to Evolve by Paul Heyman, he might not be that far away. Obviously, Will Ospreay would be a killer inclusion into the Cruiserweight division. And finally, Brian Cage. Brian Cage from Lucha Underground is a gigantic motherfucker. The dude can do a freaking... I wish I had Mauro Ranallo on here with me. Topa Suicino, I think is what it's called. Cage is like a jacked up dude with muscles everywhere, and he can do that move. The dude can do some sick shit, and he is a wet dream for Vince McMahon with his size. So I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Cage is getting the call sometime, and I think that would be a very good call as well. So there you go. That is our 5 count for top targets for Vince and Triple H to sign in 2016. Matt, I think we're in for a lot of fun. I think we're gonna see some returns. We're gonna see some debuts with this brand split, and I think we're in for a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be seeing a lot of people come in over the next several weeks. Like we've already talked about Kurt Hawkins and Rhino are coming back in. We still have the rumors are here. MVP, Carlito, Shelton Benjamin. All these guys could be coming back. I mean, there's a reason. I don't think any of them are going to be there for like super long term, and that's why I didn't have them on my list. But I think any of those guys back on these brands right now helps pad the star power of the shows.
Yeah,
we should get some really exciting stuff for the rest of 2016 because they really could space out like debuts and returns or whatever. We could have 1 or 2 debut / returns every month. Between the 2 brands. So
we almost could have a marquee category with how many are going to happen.
We could.
Yeah, I know the MVP talks ramped up this week too. More rumors have been popping up about MVP.
Yeah,
so
Teddy Long claimed on a podcast, I believe it was over the weekend or late last week, that he said MVP told him that the deal was already done and that he just had to go to Pittsburgh for medical testing, and claims that MVP also told him that Shelton Benjamin was coming in too. But MVP's kind of denying it. But honestly, if you're MVP, that's exactly what you have to do. Yeah. You can't just go on and be, yep, you got me, I'm coming back. You can't say that. No. If Teddy Long's telling the truth, and I don't really see the reason why Teddy Long would lie about something like this. I would say we're knocking on the door of MVP and Shelton Benjamin coming back too, and
they're gonna be a tag team player,
and hopefully Carlito. I want me some Carlito, damn it, because I think he'll take the Shining Stars to a whole new level.
Yeah, definitely. My Ultimate Power rankings for this month. Number 10, I'm gonna give it a little nod. a little nod to Eddie Edwards. I'm going to put Eddie Edwards in at number 10 for the brilliant main event work he's been doing the last couple of weeks, getting into that main event picture. He recaptured the X Division title at Ultimate X, taking it from Mike Bennett, and then, of course, we just had the title for title match with Bobby Lashley, though Eddie Edwards lost that match, though. I'm going to put him in at number 10 for just a nod, a wink and a nod to Eddie Edwards for his good work in the main event picture. Kind of a fresh face in the main event for Impact Wrestling, which is something they need. Number 9, I've got Sami Zayn. He's not in any title pictures right now, but, I mean, look at the fucking match he just had with Kevin Owens. So how could you not leave Sami Zayn out of the picture there? So I've got Sami Zayn at number 9. Number 8, I've got your Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, who now takes it to a 112th straight day plus with the Intercontinental Champion. We'll talk later to see what kind of feuds we may expect from the Miz in the future. Number 7, I've got Bobby Lashley, who now holds 2 pieces of gold, the X Division and the world title for TNA. Number 6, I've got Rusev after an impressive showing on the Battleground pay-per-view against Zack Ryder, your United States champion. I have at number 6. Seth Rollins I have falling to 5, but I don't have him falling too far, just to 5. I think I fully expect Seth Rollins to be still in a title picture somewhere sometime soon. We still don't know how SummerSlam's going to even shake up. Number 4, I've got Shinsuke Nakamura.
There you go.
What were you afraid of?
I was waiting to hear the name, brother. That's all I was waiting for.
Number 4, I got Shinsuke Nakamura. Obviously, an epic battle with Finn Balor, which is going to be up there for Match of the Year on NXT's brand. It's probably the clear number 1 choice to face Joe at TakeOver Brooklyn. And speaking of Joe, he's at number 3 on my list, the NXT champion, who is still kicking some ass. Laid Rhino to waste most recently. Joe has been steamrolling through it all, so I have him at number 3. Number 2, I have Jay Lethal, who, of course, is a lengthy run with that title. He fought Kyle O'Reilly, which we will talk about next on the next show. Jay Lethal still holding it down at number 2. And, of course, number 1, your WWE champion, my number 1 guy, Dean Ambrose. What do you think of that list this week, Matt?
I can't hate.
Can't hate?
Can't hate.
No cup of haters? No cup of haters?
No.
God, I am just curious how our poll just skyrocketed. Did Vince McMahon...
I truly believe that our polls in our audience interest depend on how good the show was. And I think a lot of wrestling fans were excited about the show after tonight, and they're a lot more inclined to talk about it. And
yes.
And I appreciate every single one of our listeners voting and hitting that retweet and like button. I love each and every one of you. And we wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you for continuing to listen, and thank you for your support every week.
For sure. Let's head back to Battleground, and oh my God, Sami Zayn. Oh my God. A second. Here we go. I had this funny theory. Sami Zayn was going for I don't know the name of the move. Sabu does it all the time, where you basically you stand up on the ropes and you drop down and your legs bounce off the ropes and you do a backflip onto the outside. And Zayn fucked it up. His ass was too close to the ropes, so he didn't get the bounce. He landed on his shoulder. I said he is such a damn good wrestler. He did that on purpose to make it look like he hurt himself to tell a story in the ring.
First off, there's no fucking way that's possible. And second off, I don't normally yell at the TV very often. But when he landed, I yelled at the top of my lungs, "Oh shit." Because I was damn worried that he fucked his damn shoulder up again. And I'm really glad that it looks like he didn't.
So, you've heard so far that he's okay so far?
I have not, as of slightly past midnight Eastern Standard Time, I have not heard of any legitimate injuries coming out of Battleground tonight. So thankfully,
you haven't heard good or a bad.
Nothing on Big E, nothing on Sami Zayn. I normally, if there's an injury coming out, I've normally have heard something by now.
Okay.
And so that's a good sign. We haven't heard anything. Hopefully it stays that way. And that's really all we can hope for, because you never want to see anybody get hurt, no matter if you're a fan of them or not. If you're really wishing for an injury to a superstar, you're pretty fucked up in the head. So
yeah, exactly. Again, instant classic right here. Kevin Owens again in the ring is great. He's got a chin lock on Sami Zayn, and ref goes, "You give up?" And Sami goes, "Yes, he does." JBL compared Owens to Bam Bam Bigelow. That's not a bad comparison. I mean, he's not as big as Bigelow, but Bigelow was a gigantic guy that did some amazing stuff.
Yeah,
it's not that far off, but I mean, Owens is a lot more athletic.
I think overall Owens is a lot better than Bam Bam Bigelow was, and that's no offense to Bam Bam, because in Bam Bam's day he was pretty damn great. Yes. But I don't think Bam Bam could do in his prime what Kevin Owens can do right now. No. Then that, to me, that's not taking anything away from Bam Bam. Bam Bam was a different style of wrestler, and I think what he did was excellent. But I would never compare Bam Bam Bigelow to Kevin Owens. I don't think it's a very good comparison, to be honest.
I think it's a fair comparison, but not a spot-on comparison. I think it's a fair one, but yes, it's apples and oranges between those two wrestlers. Anytime Zayn hits Owens with a Michinoku driver, I'm always wowed, just because of it just looks amazing. Bigger guy like Owens and a smaller guy like Zayn putting that move on. It's almost like when Rollins does a buckle bomb to Roman Reigns, Just the strength that some of these guys have is just amazing. And thank God Michael Cole didn't call it a Blue Thunder Bomb like he has before.
Michael Cole fucked up a lot tonight.
Yeah, we'll actually, I was going to say we'll get to one later. Might as well just call it now. He called the cross-arm breaker the disarmer earlier.
He also said that Sasha Banks took out Bayley.
Yeah, he called Charlotte Sauce.
Yeah, in like the last minute or two of the match.
That's what I was bringing that.
Sasha takes out Bayley, and I'm like, Cole, you fucking idiot.
If you were blind, and you were you're sitting there listening to the show, and what? She heel turned on Becky? No, Cole is just a fucking idiot. Oh, fucking Cole. Instant classic though. These guys just brought it. Anytime Zayn does that tornado DDT too, and that's another move that when he does that is just phenomenal. Owens is attacking Zayn. Zayn's on his knees. Owens is yelling at him about telling him to stay down, and Owens hits him with a slap, and Zayn just says, "Bring it, motherfucker!" And Zayn gets slaps Owens, and I thought that was a fucking sweet slap. Zayn hits an exploder in the corner, and then hits his one-arm dragon suplex into the haluva kick. And Zayn is holding up Kevin Owens after that haluva kick, and then decides to push him back into the corner and deliver a second haluva kick for the pinfall just under 20 minutes in what was a classic, what will be a nominee for Match of the Year, Matt. I think our friend Brad Ward was talking about he hadn't seen that kind of emotion since Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. I almost think that second haluva kick was almost like a "I'm sorry, I love you" kind of thing. Didn't you think?
I didn't, because the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair dynamic was about Shawn not wanting to put Rick out the pasture, but knowing he had to do it. This was more like,
I was talking more of
I want to make sure.
I was talking about level of emotion. It was different emotions, but I was talking about the level.
I guess to me it was Sami saying, "I need to make sure you're gonna fucking stay down." And put him down again. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Sami Zayn gets the 1, 2, 3 after that second haluva kick. Both are on the same brand, so maybe my wish is true. My plan is they keep fighting to WrestleMania and they settle it inside the cell, and then after that match, they are friends again. It's kind of like a Triple H and Shawn Michaels thing, and then Owens turns on him a few years later, but they become friends. Because an Owens face turn, I think, is inevitable.
I agree. At some point, he's going to be a gigantic baby face.
I think after their year-long battle, I think they finally got it out of their system, and they become friends. That's just my gut feeling. Actually, not my gut feeling. That's just my wish list of what will happen with this feud. And I've said all along this has been feud of the year. I don't think there's anything that's going to top it, Matt.
Probably not.
I can't think of anything. I mean, in terms of WWE, Rollins and Ambrose has been good, but yeah, nothing tops the intensity and fun factor of the matches and everything put into it with Zayn and Owens. Having to follow that was Natalya and Becky Lynch, and guess what? They did a damn good job of following him, Matt. At least I thought so. I thought Natalya and Becky was a good match.
Yeah, I thought they were put in a rough spot, but I still thought the match was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was solid. I was surprised that Natalya tapped Lynch out with the sharpshooter at about 9 minutes. I thought maybe Becky would ascend here, but maybe they're building up Natalya to have her feud with Carmella. Maybe.
I have no idea.
Whether do they continue this at SummerSlam?
I would imagine Becky and Natty are going to continue, but who knows?
So Natty gets the win there. I think we both predicted Becky Lynch here, didn't we?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But very solid match. Tough spot to follow, but the ladies did a good job there. Ambrose with the title, and Shane and Daniel Bryan kiss Dean's ass, basically, because he's got the title, and all that fun stuff. And next up, we have Miz and Maurice coming in wearing eyes wide shut masks. And, of course, the only thing I can think of is the Family Guy quote. If you look up the eyes wide shut reference from Family Guy, and then you'll get a good laugh out of it. And if you don't understand what eyes wide shut is, look that up too. Miz and Darren Young, probably the biggest match of Darren Young's career. I thought the intensity and the work was pretty good here. Matt, I just thought the ending was a little weird and disjointed with Maurice and Backlund getting involved. Do you agree?
I thought the finish made absolutely no sense. Because
especially, why did he call for the bell?
Yeah, that's why I didn't understand. I mean, Miz pushed Backlund. If Backlund would have hit Miz would have won by disqualification. But Backlund didn't hit him. Backlund got pushed by Miz, and then Darren Young jumps out, puts him in the crossface chicken wing, and automatically the bell rang. The finish didn't make any sense.
No, I guess it came as a no contest. There was not a disqualification. There's no count out because he had just exited the ring. I guess this is their odd way of making it a no finish to continue this to SummerSlam. Though, I mean, they're on separate brands.
No, they're done, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I do kind of like. Darren Young kind of taking over the persona of Backlund, where he's starting to snap like Backlund was in the 90s when he made his return and feuded with I believe Bret Hart. I kind of like how they're putting that persona in on Darren Young, which makes complete sense. I mean, Backlund's his coach, so now he's going to take on Backlund's traits. So I like it. I like this pairing. I like it. I like how it's working so far. The loss doesn't hurt him because we didn't expect him to beat the Miz. So,
he didn't really lose.
True. True.
They
just didn't win.
The announcer never really announced who won.
Yeah, he just didn't win.
So
he didn't lose. He didn't win. So yeah, it was weird. They show a 2K17 trailer, which I never get tired of seeing, with Brock Lesnar. John Cena comes out, and then Enzo and Cass come out, and I think this. All right, tell me something here, Matt. Was this Enzo's best?
Before we get into Enzo's promo, I do think we should mention something about a house cleaning. I know we announced a week or two ago that we were planning on doing a WWE Games edition of Lost in the Midcard this Thursday. But we also thought by now the feature set for 2K17 would be out. Since it has not yet been revealed, we're most likely not going to be doing the WWE Games Roundtable this week, unless within the next 72 hours the feature set is revealed. If it is, we will go according as planned. If it is not, the week that it is the feature set is revealed, be it on like a Thursday or a Friday, the following week we will be doing our WWE Games Roundtable discussing WWE 2K17 and the future of the WWE Games franchise. Just for anybody who is looking forward to that this Thursday, it's up in the air right now. Technically, it's in 2K's marketing's hands, so if 2K Marketing wants us to talk about their game this week, they're going to have to give us a feature set. How you doing?
How you doing?
Speaking of how you doing, let's talk about Enzo.
All right, before I get into the great stuff of Enzo this week, what was better? Was this his best promo yet to date, or was this just a notch below his Raw debut?
It's really subjective. Because he's done a lot of great stuff in both NXT and on the main roster already. But it's right up there as some of his best work.
This was amazing. He says that they are the Mount Rushmore of certified Gs. And he goes, well, I know there are 3 of us, but we have Cena, so that makes him 4G. We're well connected. How you doing? Cass said the club is like a teenage, or Enzo says the club is like a teenage girl in the Scream trilogy because they know they're going to make a bad decision. And Enzo wanted to give him some good advice. Good advice. Don't eat. Good ice, yeah. Good advice. Don't eat yellow snow. How you doing? Don't pee in the wind. How you doing? Always lie on your resume. How you doing? Don't wear Crocs. How you doing? Ever. How you doing? Never make eye contact with anyone while you're eating a banana. Oh, that's some sound advice, though. Never thought about it, but that's some sound advice. How you doing? Oh my God, the banana one just that put it over the top. Cass says he suggests not stepping into the ring with them unless they have a good dental plan because they'll knock their teeth down their throats. And turns from there. The look on John Cena was just like in amazement, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was pretty damn funny.
He was just like, whoa, this kid is killing it. Crowd chanting the old "Go Enzo Amore" to the tune of Seven Nation Army, and Enzo does a little dab to salute. Cash trash talks about AJ Styles' soccer mom hair and said he can go drop Anderson and Gallo off at Raw while he goes to SmackDown and does his SAWFT. And later on, the crowd started chanting soccer mom. So if you ever wondered if soccer mom was ever going to get a chant on WWE television, there you go. But Enzo was on fire here. The 6-man tag match itself was on fire as well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of back and forth here. A lot of believable near falls. Once the AA was landed and the pin was disrupted, Matt, I thought I was going to be wrong and the bad guys were going to win here. But then the Styles Clash got landed and that pin got disrupted. So it was like, okay, now this thing's up in the air again. And that's what I liked about the match. Once the 2 finishers got disrupted, it was up in the air and it was a fun match. Did you agree on that?
I thought the match was really fun. My main issue, I felt there was one guy out of the 6 people in this match that could not afford to take the pin, and he took the pin. I didn't like it. I have a lot of people just want to say, well, AJ's gonna beat him at SummerSlam and win the feud or whatever. My main issue with believing that is I've seen it way too many times over the years where a guy will win the first match against John and then he'll win the next 2 or 3. So you can't say that I'm super confident in the fact that AJ Styles is going to beat him at SummerSlam. I want to be proven wrong. I hope he does, but I honestly don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, I said on last week's podcast, well, not last week, but a few days ago on our podcast for the draft special, I said, well, there may be a reason why Styles was drafted so high, and that means he's going to win at SummerSlam. I fully predict if there is a one-on-one match between Cena and Styles, there's going to be a lot to convince me to not pick AJ Styles here when I do my predictions. So, but yes, Cena hit Styles with the attitude adjustment from the middle turnbuckle for the win after a 15-minute match. Good 6-man tag. A lot of fun. Thought it was a lot of fun, and I thought this was some of the best in-ring work for Enzo today too. I thought he looked real good in the ring as well, and I loved it when he was standing up toe to toe with when Gallows and Anderson were in the ring, and he's like getting all hyped up. I love that part. I thought that was funny. Next up is the highlight reel. Chris Jericho comes out and introduces Randy Orton. Big pop for the Viper. Wearing a new wearing a new RKO shirt. I think I might have to get, Matt. I liked it. Did you like it?
Yeah, it's cool.
I thought he looked a little weird in sneakers and slacks with the RKO shirt, though. It was like, I think he was wearing dress shoes and a suit, and then took off the shoes, put on tennies, and then put on the RKO shirt. He forgot to change the pants, though. He was probably dressed up and then threw on his gear. But pretty cool shirt, though. Orton said that for 9 months he enjoyed spending time with his wife and kids, but missed something during these 9 months, and it was this. Pointed to the fans. The fans gave him a lot of respect there. Good reaction. He said the crowd's got him in such a good mood. He doesn't mind sharing the ring with this guy, and this guy being Chris Jericho. RKO chants fill in the arena. And Jericho said that Orton should thank him for being in the ring with him, and bragged about being the best in the world at what he does. And Orton says, well, you better not provoke me. And Jericho talked about the RKO out of nowhere, which, of course, then prompted Orton to turn around so you could see the hashtag out of nowhere on the back of his new RKO shirt that you can get on WWEshop.com. I wish we got money for that, Matt. Or at least a free RKO shirt. I'll take either right now. Jericho informed Orton that he's on SmackDown while Jericho's on Raw, and called Stephanie the most talented and one of his favorite people of all time. He's thought that all the time. He must have forgot the times where he called her a brutal, disgusting trash bag hoe, but we'll ignore that. Jericho says he wants to give Orton something, a gift, and that's the gift of Jericho. Drink it in, man. And Orton insulted him by saying that he looked like Ellen DeGeneres. And I still think he looks more like John Bon Jovi.
Yeah,
Jericho
I was expecting him to say he thought he was in a DirecTV commercial.
Jericho then moves on to the topic at matter, Brock Lesnar. He's a beast like anybody else, and they show the video package on the obscenely expensive Geratron 6500. And they show a video package of Brock Lesnar beating up people with Paul Heyman. Jericho mentioned that Orton and Lesnar started 15 years ago in developmental, and Jericho wondered if Orton was scared of Lesnar, and he's been avoiding him. And Jericho wondered why Orton would even sign on to face Lesnar. And Orton said he wanted to make a statement by facing a guy like Brock Lesnar. And Orton said, what would have happened if he came back after 9 months of being away and faced Fandango? Oh, burn on the old Fandango. Mainly, it was more of a burn on Jericho for who he faced after he returned, but yeah. Jericho says that Lesnar's going to kick Orton's ass and take him to Suplex City. Orton says he knows Lesnar's going to beat the holy hell out of him. He talked about how Lesnar might hit 20 suplexes to take him to Suplex City, but it only takes one RKO to go to Viperville. I loved that line. But oh wait, after that he said, no enhancement needed. Drop the microphone. What about that line, Matt?
I laughed. I thought it was great.
He dropped the microphone physically. He already did it with words, and then he physically dropped the mic because that was a drop the mic moment. And then Jericho said that Orton told Orton that he knows somebody close to Lesnar, and he's relaying some messages. And Jericho speaking for Brock, saying that he'll rip off Orton's arm and eat it. Jericho then said, Brock said that Orton is a stupid idiot. Well, okay, yeah, right. Jericho said that. And then Jericho taunted him about guessing when the RKO was going to come out of nowhere. I thought that was kind of funny. And then, of course, when least expected, Jericho got an RKO. And the crowd loved it. I loved the highlight reel. I thought it was a lot of fun. Matt, what were your thoughts on that segment?
I thought it was great. I thought Orton was back. I thought it was one of his best promos he's given in quite some time. You could genuinely tell he was excited to be back. I loved the RKO. I loved Viperville and the enhancement shot and the Ellen shot on Jericho. And I thought it was all great.
Yeah, seems to have a little more personality. I mean, he's always been a good. He's always had a good presence, but he's usually more, cold and calculated Randy Orton because that's just who he is. But he could show a different side of Randy like he did here, and I like that a lot too. The GMs and commissioners come out for each brand, obviously, as the Raw brand has 2 horses in the fight, and SmackDown has the champion, Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins entered, and then Roman Reigns entered to some Vicky Guerrero-like boos. They were loud.
You think?
And then and then Dean Ambrose came out to a nice gigantic pop, and we get ourselves the Shield triple threat that we've been waiting for quite some time. And boy, these guys delivered. The match, man, they're going late nowadays on the old WWE network, aren't they?
2 months in a row.
Huge Roman sucks chance. So very interesting where we're going to go with Rollins from here, or with Reigns from here. Just I don't know where they're going to go. It's going to be interesting. But great action from these 3 guys for damn sure. One of my towards the end of the match, one of my favorite moves is when Seth Rollins does a superplex into the Falcon Arrow. That is one of my favorite combinations right there. Very, very badass. Then Reigns and Ambrose battle on the top rope. Rollins and Ambrose battle on the top rope. Reigns comes back in. This was after Reigns ate the power bomb, the old Shield branded power bomb, so to speak, when Ambrose and Rollins worked together to beat him up and put him out of commission. And so he set up the power bomb, the sit out power bomb that Reigns has been doing lately. He gets a 2 count. Pretty good near fall there, and Ambrose tries to go for dirty D's, but Reigns fights out of it, hits him with the Superman punch. Rollins nails a pedigree on Reigns, but only a 2 count. Reigns powers out of another pedigree, so then Rollins ends up giving him a buckle bomb. Reigns then hits a spear on Rollins, but Ambrose got his hands on Reigns and hits the dirty deeds for the 1-2-3 after 18-minute match. A very good match. I was expecting maybe it to be a little more epic. Maybe I just needed to rewatch it and have a different mindset going into it. I don't know. I can't explain that on my part, but Matt, it was still truly a good match and a good main event for Battleground.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I know you're a little more mixed on it than I was, but I mean, I certainly wasn't comparing it to, KO and Zayn. I
wasn't comparing it to that. I was just thinking of my expectations for the first time the Shield has a triple threat match for the title, and I think I just wanted more. I don't know. I think I just wanted more out of it. I don't know. I don't know if it was the fact that Reigns has been gone for 30 days. I don't know if the build up just made me feel that way. I don't know. I can't really explain it. I think it's just something where I have to watch it again because I didn't hate it. I just wanted more out of it because I want a Shield triple threat match to be the match of the year. You know what I mean? But still, it was an amazing match. Clearly, the second best match of the night. Ambrose continues on with the title. So then. SmackDown wrestlers go into the ring to celebrate with Ambrose, and the Usos put Ambrose up on their shoulders to continue the celebration as the pay-per-view ends. And what was a very entertaining and fun Battleground pay-per-view. Where did the fans vote here? We had over 350 votes on our Twitter page at LITMC Podcast. Thank you for voting there, fans. And 86% of those 351 people voted either A or B. A led the way at 48%, B with 38%, C at 7%, D or F at 7% as well. So the crowd loved them some Battleground. So where do we go from here? First off, Matt, we got Rusev with the United States title. I think we obviously know where we want to go from there, right? Kurt Angle?
Yeah, that's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it.
If Kurt Angle is not
in the cards,
yeah, what would you like to have as a feud with Rusev in for the SummerSlam pay-per-view? Sami Zayn?
They could do Zayn. They could hot shot Finn Balor right into that spot.
Hmm.
Who knows who Finn's going to be working with when he comes in.
The disgruntled Cesaro.
Cesaro would work. There's a lot of good choices on Raw that they could do without a problem. But I mean, it's the whole American hero thing that he started rambling on about tonight.
Yeah,
it makes me feel like you're totally getting red, white, and blue worthy. Which kind of knocks out Sami Zayn, it knocks out Kevin Owens, it knocks out Cesaro. It sounds like they're going in a patriotic direction. I mean, it knocks out Finn Balor. The storyline revolves around America right now, and I just feel like all the puzzle pieces are in place right now for Kurt Angle versus Rusev at SummerSlam. I think it's a no-brainer. Like, even if you're bringing Angle in for a one and done, and you're just bringing him in to lose to Rusev, I can't see them doing that, but it still would be a hell of a money-making match for SummerSlam in August. So yeah, I'm totally going Kurt Angle right now for Rusev, but we'll find out tonight on Raw.
Yeah, less than 24 hours from now, we'll have our answer there. It would be an epic moment on Raw if Kurt Angle returns. That's for damn sure. On the SmackDown side, we have Miz is still the Intercontinental Champion. Who do you see stepping up for the next one there? Do you think we go in an odd direction and have Bray Wyatt challenge, since Bray Wyatt's never held any singles gold? You still have Ziggler down there. You have Zack Ryder. What do you think is a good direction to have a SummerSlam feud with The Miz for the Intercontinental title?
It's hard. With Miz being...
Kalisto's there.
Oh, God. With Miz being a... With Miz being a heel, it's hard. I feel their face options on SmackDown right now are very limited.
You got Apollo Crews. Yeah, it's pretty limited.
Yeah, I don't see a clear cut contender right now. Like, unless they were to turn somebody, like unless they're going to turn Bray face. I don't know. It's a rough spot to be in right now. I can't really tell you who the next contender is for The Miz.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know.
The WWE World Tag Team Champions are held by The New Day. We got Gallows and Anderson. Does Finn go with them immediately when you put him in?
If you don't at least have a segment with them, you're not making any damn sense. Mm-hmm. So I feel they have to touch on that right off the bat. I'd say the club would make the most sense to challenge New Day at SummerSlam.
They already broke this edition of the tag team record that was held by Lennon and Kendrick.
Yeah.
Obviously, Demolition had the other tag team thing that they don't ever recognize. I think there's a little bad blood.
There's some heat. There's some heat.
So that's why the New Day are your quoted tag team champion, longest reign. I could fully see Gallows and Anderson winning at SummerSlam. I think that is that makes the most sense to have them feud with the New Day next. Don't you think?
Yeah, no, I agree.
And Dean Ambrose, he's your WWE champion. Do Seth Rollins? You put him in there since he didn't get pinned, but yet they're on separate shows, but yet SummerSlam is a combined show. Is this where Rollins gets a one-on-one rematch and he beats Ambrose? I don't. This is so weird. I don't know what direction they're going to go in.
I think Dean needs to defend the title against somebody on SmackDown, and Raw needs to decide their own title situation. Bray Wyatt would be the perfect placement for a title contender at SummerSlam for Dean.
They had a good feud.
They have a good feud that they already know each other very well. Bray is strong coming off the New Day victory. Yeah, I think Bray Wyatt would fit. I fear Styles is stuck with Cena right now. Cena. Yeah, you're right. If he wasn't stuck with Cena, Styles would be perfect. But no, I feel Styles is stuck with Cena right now. So Bray Wyatt would be the perfect feud for Dean, in my opinion, looking at the SmackDown roster going into SummerSlam.
For sure. All right, that's going to wrap up this edition of the post show for Battleground. A good show, a fun night. Hopefully, Monday and Tuesday, the very first episodes of the brand split, give us some more fun to talk about when we come back at you on Thursday. Once again, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host and enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard and then hit subscribe, so that way you know every time a new episode hits your ears, which is every Thursday and then also every Monday after a pay-per-view. We're also subscribable on YouTube, and the links to both of those are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Just head over to the notes section on the header there, and that'll take you to those links. And also, we have a Twitter page at LITMC Podcast as well. And thank you to everybody that voted into the Twitter poll as well. Before we ride off into the sunset here on this Battleground night, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
Monday, Tuesday is going to be very interesting. Regardless if we have WWE games to talk about this Thursday or not, I think the first quote-unquote new era for Raw and SmackDown this week will give us plenty to talk about in just a few days. So it should be very interesting to see the direction both brands take over the course of the next 48 hours.
That's for sure. We'll break it all down here for you this Thursday on Lost in the Midcard. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you soon.